So we're going to look at it that way. Why acting legend left Hollywood spotlight for 10 acres of Westport, Connecticut land? Who are you talking about? Cool Hand Luke? That's Cool Hand Luke. His mission to help children. And I hope he really did. You know what I'm saying? But that was Cool Hand Luke. I think that's Paul Newman, I think. You know what I'm saying? But a good gesture on his part. And it's nice to hear that he did that. But I hope that, it was sincere in itself. You know what I'm saying? But long live the great Paul Newman, great actor, especially in the movie Cool Hand Luke. Many people need to take a look at that movie, Cool Hand Luke. You know what I'm saying? Slavery and war are tightly connected. Slavery and war is tightly connected. No, 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 no. No. Back that up. Hating garbage, trash beats across the land, and war follows those type of people. It's tightly connected to me. But we had no idea just how much until we crunch the data. I said by Kevin Mills or whatever his name, who contemporary slavery research director in the Wright Labs, the University of all that. That's no good to me. You know what I'm saying? You gotta watch so forth and so on. Some 40 million people are enslaved around the world today. Uh-huh. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Hear it again. 40, 40 million people are enslaved around the world today. Though estimated vary, modern slavery takes many different forms, including child soldiers, sex trafficking, and forced labor, and no country is immune from the case of family controlled sex trafficking in the United States. And that's a motherfucking shame. Okay? That's a motherfucker. Yeah, you get in the back and get that going on in my camera because you need the motherfucking smoke. That's a motherfucking shit. What fucking slavery is we talking about? But you talking about equality. This is because you let the demon Democrats run our country for over 40, 50 something hundred years of straight Luciferian bullshitical garbage. Talking about equality. Equality where? You sex trafficking even Caucasians. What are you talking about? Any beastly shit that gets in your anything your beastly hands get your mother hands on, this is garbage you do. And you're still doing it in Africa today. And then want to rearrange the history to fit a Caucasian or a Arabical race. When you know or when you are no more than a scoundrel in the place, using it as a strategical point to have your foothold in it and wrote a book saying that that's what it is. You are garbage and you know it. That's why General Sarah Sultan City, the general on yard, had to go in on your head. All right? And the great, legendary, trained by the Sarah Sultan City himself and of himself, the young pharaoh, wherever he may be. He still delivered what he did. You know what I'm saying? Enslaved in the United States to enslavement of fishermen in South Asia seas, industry, and forced labor in global electronic supply chains. Enslavement knows no boundaries. And we must quail this. If you're talking about equality, demon Democrat, why haven't you put forward the effort? Why did you stop Malcolm X from going to the United Nations and presenting our case before the United Nations? But you ran after Tupac Shakur's mother and father when they were trying to do something of liberation of African people in the United States, and still running after them now and refuse to give this man his just due. You know what I'm saying? The amount of murder and catastrophe you cause as a demon, blood clot Democrat on this land, and you got the nerve to talk about Chicago. Sorry to mess up the name, sister. I think you were the beautiful goddess, Tupac's mother and father. But you got nerve to talk that shit and talk about Black Caucus Party and leaders and all this bullshit. What are you talking about? You garbage, nigga. And until you straighten this motherfucker out, talking about, you're talking about as scholars of modern slavery, we seek to understand how and why humans are being still brought, owned, bossed, and owned, sold in the 20th century in hope of shaping policies to eradicate these things. These policies should have been in there before, a long time ago, and been eradicate this bullshit. This is beast hating garbage shit. Motherfuckers with no history that came out, motherfucking probably the Caucasus Mountains of the Anti-Ashes of Lyota all the way up there to the Siberian mountains that came down into Africa with that bullshit. And still doing it today. Warmongers, I call them. Barbaric. I'm talking about barbaric. You know what I mean? Even went into Rome, and even Rome had its problems, and even the barbarians went in there and constantly plagued them as well. So they have been hating on each other for many years, not just anyway, but this is the beastly shit they have in their heart with no facts, no history, no connection to nothing. So they don't mind fucking up everything they touch. Many, many of the answers trace back to the causes like poverty, corruption, inequality, 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 but they also stem from something less discussed: war. Mhm. In 2016, the United Nations Security Council named modern slavery a serious concern in areas affected by armed conflict, but researchers still know little about the specific of how slavery and war is intertwined. I know how it's intertwined. You're full of shit then, you're full of shit now, and you're probably gonna be full of shit in the motherfucking future. Moving on from that bullshit. And you need to quell that shit, and seriously, all black people need to step up in all ways and protest or put forward a candidate to go in there and bring forth these issues on the table. This is our shit. Fuck that one world order. Garbage. Russia stand ground, Ukraine stand your ground, and y'all cut the fuck out. Cut the fuck out. Over there raping the women, with men, women, children, and all kinds of shit going on back and forth. Castration and all kinds of garbage to the soul. You're full of bullshit. You're full of bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Black women have gone from creating safe space at Bible study and Bible study and beauty salons to cultivating online communication. Well, that's their business. Ain't nobody got time for that shit. Legislation, they can do as they like. They grown. Legislation seeks to address new high uh, cesarean birth rate. Yeah, and I often wonder why you continue to do cesarean birth and not let the women produce. Talking about every time you turn around, you're saying the woman can't push it out. They did it for 100 billion years before you got here. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because when we look at it, they're saying the cesarean birth takes place in New York more than other places, I guess, recommended that the U.S. Center of Disease and Control 10 to 15%. You know what I'm saying? We see here at least 34 in New York ranks the 12th in the nation section. I guess surgical birth can be necessary to save the mother, but many occurred of convenience. You know what I'm saying? Inadequate communication, education with the patient, and that's right. And this is what they do. because the doctors feel all the time that they make they gods and they make the rules and so on. So as we saw what went on with COVID-19. Anyway, we're moving on, but they need to do something about the cesarean birth. Women need to be able to fight. You need to fight right now. That should not be the only way to birth a child. There is many ways that were studied in Egypt as well that show that you don't need to be cutting and slicing and shitting and dicing. But this is the bestiality that we see continues to go on. You know what I'm saying? And it needs to be checked when, especially when it comes to the birth of children and the cesarean birth. You know what I'm saying? Do not let these beasts run your world and tell you every resource is running out while they poison off all the resource that because they have some other form of resource, which probably is you. hmm Let's be real here. The scientists say, you know what I'm saying, Fauci caused a lot of damage. He caused a lot of debt for 40, 50, 60 years. What are you talking about? Not just a lot of damage here. By Max Greenwood, 14 hours, remember, ago. But remember, this is coming from the hill, and this is the late edition. You know what I mean? Florida, Ron DeSantis, you know what I'm saying, hammered the White House chief medical advisor Anthony Fauci to killing weasel Tuesday, accusing the nation of permitted or whatever infectious disease. He ain't no fucking none of that. He's not in my book. He's a killing, Luciferian, blood sucking of the fraternal. You know what I'm saying? Man, yeah, Ignatius, veiw. You know what I'm saying? A debt killer, a hater, a no history having, a loser, a bum. You know what I'm saying? That you put in there and give him millions of dollars to just do the garbage he did cold heartedly all across the planet and continues to do, talking about when he retires, he going into the second phase. Like I said, what is it? Get stop all the cheats and the boots and down there running and turn on the switch and all of that shit and everybody jumping around like jacking and being stuff and walking like a zombie. You know what I'm saying? Don't give me that bullshit. You better stay in the back and get this smoke, motherfucker.